Why do so many people feel like they have to do everything?
Who tend to want to do it all for everyone all the time tend to be these folks who are ambitious, they are high achieving, they are driven, they are goal oriented.
We are taught to seek love externally, and we're not really taught the skill set to be able to internally validate ourselves.
What I find when they come to work with me is that oftentimes they're feeling a sense of disconnectedness.
Our whole lives, we are trying to prove ourselves to other individuals.
It is a well, right?
All right. Welcome to the AlignUs podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nikhil Sharma, and I'm so grateful to have you guys here with us today. In today's topic, we're going to be tackling a modern epidemic, the glorification of doing it all. We live in a culture that praises hustle over harmony, busyness over balance, and productivity over purpose. But here's the reality. Just because you can do it all doesn't mean you should. Many of us are running on empty, saying yes to everything, chasing endless to-do lists, and wondering why we're still feeling drained, disconnected, and unfulfilled. The truth is that your capacity is not infinite. And aligning your goals with what truly matters is the key to long-term success and well-being. To help us break this down today, we have an incredible guest with us, Monica Helvey, who is a therapist who specializes in mindful goal setting, burnout recovery, and emotional well-being. She's here to help us understand how to shift from doing it all to doing what aligns with our values, energy, and personal capacity. Welcome to the show, Monica. We're so grateful to have you back with us today.
Thank you so much. I love being here with you, so I am so excited to dive into this.
Right on. Well, let's just start with the big question. Why do so many people feel like they have to do everything? Where does that come from?
Oh man, it is it is a well, right? The folks that I tend to work with who tend to want to do it all for everyone all the time tend to be these folks who are ambitious, they are high achieving, they are driven, they are goal oriented. And what I find with those folks is sometimes somewhere along the way, they once learned that their acceptance, their love, their security and worthiness were conditional, and they were connected to their productivity and their achievement. So while that was probably, a very adaptive thing to learn early on and was maybe even motivating for them earlier on, and it could even have produced success for them early on, what I find when they come to work with me is that oftentimes they're feeling a sense of disconnectedness, burnout, overwhelm, resentment, and they have this deep sense of lack of fulfillment, that everything that they've been doing, all these accomplishments, all this on paper success still isn't enough. And that is absolutely one of those key indicators that we are being motored by a maybe ego or something that's deep rooted that needs to be identified and healed so that we can break out of this trap.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that really resonates with what I feel like I personally have gone through in life. And I think a lot of my values were shaped by my parents or society as we were growing up. And I think you hit it on the head when you said that we are taught to seek love externally, and we're not really taught the skill set to be able to internally validate ourselves. So our whole lives, we are trying to prove ourselves to other individuals. And in order for us to prove to other individuals that we are worthy of their love, we feel like we need to take on tasks to try to help other individuals as much as we possibly can. And then receive that gratification of, oh my God, thank you so much for being there for me. I don't know what I would have done without you in my life, right? Because that does feel good to hear from other individuals, right?
And absolutely. It's so reinforcing, right? Just oh, you're so helpful. Yeah. That's so useful. You're so smart. All of these things are really rewarding. But then again, it kind of keeps driving that internal sense, that internal belief that we do have more acceptance and love and worthiness when we're working really hard, when we're doing everything for for everyone.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, we get caught up into this seeking of external validation and seeking love and wanting to do things for other individuals because they feel so good. It almost becomes like an addiction for us. Like, or many of us, especially people who are people pleasers, who have been taught that, hey, it's important to help others. And that's so crazy. I'm just thinking about that. Like, I was brought up in that, and it actually makes me feel so good, genuinely makes me feel good to help other individuals. But the problem is that when we're growing up, no one taught us how to construct boundaries or when to stop or when is enough, right? To help other individuals. Because I know I wasn't taught that. So for me, it was really hard to say no to anybody else. And I felt good, again, about like helping other individuals. But then I noticed over time that I started choosing work or helping others over what was going on internally with me. It's almost as if I was having some inner turmoil that I didn't want to deal with. And I wanted to feel good about myself. So what I did was I was like, oh, let me help you out. Okay, yeah, don't worry. You need help moving? I got you. Oh, you need help with, some major issues that's going on with your life? Don't worry. I can leave what I'm doing right now and come to you. And so it's kind of like, why do so many, high achievers struggle with slowing down? And what are some warning signs that we can have in order for us to realize or become aware of, like, hey, something isn't right, you're off balance, you're burning out, what can we do?
Yeah. So you touched on so much of, again, why it's hard for people to slow down is because it's really rewarding. And when we start to even identify ourselves as being the helper, as being the fixer, as the problem solver, the go-to person, right? We start to sense our identity in it, which then keeps that belief really strongly rooted. It makes it really hard to say, okay, I can rest if you now have a belief that I have to work hard to have security. Right? I have to earn this lovability from my partner. Well, now you can't sit down and relax with your partner on the couch and watch a movie because you have this belief that tells you need to be the one who's doing and moving and making things happen, right? So it starts to become an internal conflict to receive and to accept rest and to even attune to yourself more than you're attuning to the people around you. Like that becomes a tension point internally, right? So our nervous system doesn't like that tension. It leads to chronic stress and that drives even burnout in and of itself. So your nervous system wants this familiarity and it wants to believe what it's always believed. And so if we have always believed that it's not possible for me to rest or I can't receive somebody helping me or me asking for my needs or help, like I have to be the helper. If we cannot accept that, then our nervous system is just going to keep us in the performance mode, in the doing mode, right? Which is a state of survival.
Yeah, because again, once our bodies get used to a certain way of being, any type of change that we try to do is going to cause some resistance in our body, in our brain, in our prefrontal cortex. Because when we try to say, no, I can't do that to somebody that you've been always saying yes to all the time and you've always been there for, there's something that goes on in our brain that's like, oh my God, like what are they going to say if I say no?
Absolutely. And here's the thing though, is this is what I need people to understand is that when you're drained, when you're overwhelmed, when you're starting to have this resentment that you're the go-to person all the time, you're not fully showing up for those people. Right. And so the best gift that you can give those people that you care so much that you want to help is to regulate yourself and to be the most present, aligned version of yourself for them. And that requires, noticing when you're misaligned. And so to kind of go back to your point too, like, how do they know? Well, sometimes the signs are, when somebody calls you, before you even answer the phone, you might have a sense of like, oh, I know they're going to ask me for something.
Yeah, that's
right?
so
I'm
true.
sure. Or this sense of
Definitely.
like, man, I don't want to go to that thing because I know I'm going to have to perform. I'm going to have to do something, right?
Yeah.
When you have this internal narrative that's sort of telling you like, I'm not all in. This isn't a heck yes for me. Then that's where you know like your empathy is kind of wearing thin, or your
Yes.
compassion is wearing thin. Those are the signals that internally there's a misalignment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. That makes perfect sense, and I that has happened to me often, where you do get that phone call, or you feel uncomfortable going to a social setting where there's going to be people who are going to want to talk your ear off about personal issues that are going on. And that those individuals, and I like to call them energy vampires, because
that's what I call them.
you know what I mean, like
100%.
because they're truly draining your energy. And I wanted people to think about like themselves as like a highly concentrated water. And I'm sure if you guys remember back in the day, we learned a term called osmosis, where high concentration of water tends to go to low concentration of water, right? So when we're in this high vibrational state of being, because we are the light, we're these empaths, we are people who they like to look up to and go to. Those individuals typically have lower concentrations of water. They're lower vibrational individuals. So when you're naturally around people like that, your energy will be sucked towards them because you are in a higher vibrational state of being. So I hope people understand that now, right? Where it's just that if you're in this different stratosphere, you attract individuals who want to or seek your guidance because you're this light,
Yeah. Absolutely. And that makes perfect sense into also why like boundaries become so important, and knowing that you're even having that experience with somebody, being able to pay attention to that is so huge, because it's nothing personal. This is the reality, is it's not like you don't care about that person, or that you don't love that person, or want to, help them or do well for them. But the reality is that you, like you said earlier, your capacity is limited. You are not an endless supply. And so we have to be able to tune into that, what's happening there in that relationship, and make some adjustments.